how can working moms still enjoy the summer even with a busy schedule?
It's a little bit more challenging, but I think you can do it 100%. Here's a few ideas. You can have spontaneous ice cream runs after dinner. Those are always fun. Those were always a big hit with y'all.
We loved going to Dairy Queen.
I know, right? Catching fireflies at night with your kids. I think that's a great idea. I stole that one from you because y'all did that last year and your kids loved it.
Oh, they had so much fun.
Late night swims at the neighborhood pool.
Oh, that's a good one.
We did that a few times. That's a fun activity. And it's just like when you're sitting around and it's after dinner and everybody's just sort of like, you just say, hey, let's all go to a late night swim at the pool. And they're like, oh man, let's do it. You know,
You're the coolest mom ever.
that's right. Movie nights, I think, are so much fun. We would do, especially as y'all got older, we would do marathons, like the whole Star Trek series or the Bourne series. I'd let all y'all stay up late.
Yeah.
You get in our pajamas, all sit around the den, pop popcorn, have candy, and it was a lot of fun. Hey everybody, welcome to Wire Talk. Well, today we've got a fun episode for you. We're going to be talking about summer and setting our expectations so that we can have a fun-filled summer. But you know what? Summer can also be challenging, especially if you're a working mom. So we're going to address those issues today of all the juggling that you're trying to do as a mom. So let's get started and figure out how to have a great summer and setting our expectations in a realistic way.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Wire Talk. If you're new to the show, I'm Emily, the host, and with me joining us today, well, you're with us every day because it's your show.
Yeah.
It's my mom, Karen Stubbs. Hey, Mom.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I see your little baby bump coming along.
Yep, she's growing. She is really low right now, so she's just kicking me like all the time, which is great. I'm very thankful for the
She's
kicks.
moving and you feel her.
Yes, but I'm like, can we just switch where we're kicking? And she's like, no.
No, this is my spot.
Your bladder is exactly where I need to be kicking. So I'm like, perfect. Love that
Sure,
for me.
I'm going to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes.
Yes,
it's not
exactly,
a big deal.
Exactly. But Mom, what was the highlight of your week this week?
Ooh, highlight of the week this week. Well, I think the highlight is going to actually be tomorrow.
And just so y'all know, we batch record, so this is like a month before this air date.
So today is actually April 9th.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. Anyways, my favorite thing is going to be tomorrow. I'm going to the Masters.
It's going to be fun.
I'm super excited. And so, yeah, I'm excited about that. But it's been a good week. It's gone by fast.
It has gone by fast.
We had a lot of rain, and that washed a ton of pollen away, and that was so good. We needed that. Your sweet dad was just miserable, clawing his eyes out, sneezing all the time.
Thankfully, we were on spring break. My kids were on spring break, so when the pollen was the worst, we were not here. And Brian was checking all the pollen counts, and everyone was texting him because he gets terrible allergies. And they were like, you just need to be happy that you missed it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was bad. I think it was worse this year than it's been in a very, very long time.
I think it said record time, actually, of all of Georgia, which is crazy.
It was bad. How about you? What was your most favorite thing this week?
Ooh, I guess, I know this is going to sound so silly, but like the day before yesterday, I felt terrible. I just woke up super nauseous.
Yeah.
And I just felt nauseous all day long. But last night I slept really good and I feel like a new woman.
That's good.
So that's probably just not feeling nauseous today is probably the highlight of my week.
Best day of your week. I love that. You know, not being nauseous is a good feeling.
It is a good feeling. So,
100%.
And I have had a very good pregnancy. I have great pregnancies.
Yeah, you do.
Sweet Kelsey does not. And so she's sick basically from the moment she gets pregnant to the moment she delivers that baby. So I'm very thankful that's not me because I was just a little bit of an ill pill Mama Jill yesterday.
You were not your normal self.
No, I'm chippy self. So no, but that's okay. We all have good days and we all have bad days.
That's right. Yours are very few and far between, but at least I know you're human now.
That's right.
That's good.
Well, enough about spring. We are actually going to be talking about summer.
Oh, let's do it.
And how to set realistic expectations and what does winning look like for summer for your family.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's going to be really fun. And I think we're going to have a balance between working moms and stay-at-home moms.
Yeah, because they both are struggling with different things.
Exactly. And I think something that you've told me in past is in motherhood, you kind of have to keep your blinders on. Mm-hmm. And you have to win for summer what works for your family.
That's right.
And you have to be true to yourself. And you have to kind of just figure out what works for your family might look completely different than works for Kelsey's family or Abby's or Taylor and Sarah down in Key West. So You just got to figure out what works best for you.
Well, that's right. And it's sort of like the way I taught all of y'all growing up, just with your dad and his job.
Mm-hmm.
And our family did not look like everybody else's family.
Exactly.
Y'all's dad was gone 2 weeks out of the month, every single month.
Crazy.
A lot of your friends, their dads came home every single night, and that just wasn't your world. And so same thing with the summer thing. Not everybody's summer is going to look the same. Some people are going to go on amazing vacations, and other families aren't going to be able to do that. Some families, the mom is stay at home and they can do all the things. Other families, the mom's working and they can't do it because she's got to put them in, has to find childcare, has to do all the things.
It's overwhelming.
And it's overwhelming for her because she's trying to juggle it all. She wants to make the summer a fun place for her kids, but camps are expensive. I mean, these camps are outrageous. So you just can't roll them from one end to the other unless you just make a ton of money, which is not that many people out there anymore. So, it's just, we all have to just say, okay, this is what I have. This is what I used to tell y'all with your dad's schedule. This is our life right here. So we need to make the best of this life. You don't have your friend's life. They don't have ours, but this is our lane. So let's stay in the lane. Now we can make it the best lane possible for our family. And that's what you have to do. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a working mom, whatever, make your lane the best lane.
Yeah. Well, that kind of answers part of the question. The first question is, why is it important to decide what winning looks like for your family before summer even starts?
Well, I think you just need to set the expectations realistically with your family. I'd sit them all down and just be like, all right, summer is right around the corner. It's in a week or two, and we're excited, but our summer's not going to look like everybody else's. So let's, as a family, decide on what's going to be a win for our family. I'd love for, this would be a fun family exercise. I'd love for y'all to write down 2 expectations that you would like, 2 wins that you would like to see accomplished during the summer. Give me a big one and give me a small one. One that can be accomplished and one that can't be accomplished. I mean, it's not so large. So, and if you have littles, you can just tell them. They don't have to write it down. They can just tell you what it is. So, for example, one of them might say, I want to go to the beach this summer. That's a bigger win. So you can talk about that as a family and decide if that's a thing. Or a smaller one would be, I want to go to Six Flags for the summer. Or I want once a week us to make a Dairy Queen run or something fun like that. Who knows what they'll say? Like your kids may say, movie night or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Grayson will probably say Cancun.
Definitely. Which will be accomplished for him.
Because we're going in May.
That's right.
But last year, I made a corrosive summer bucket list.
Oh, that's a great idea. I remember that.
We wrote it down on a big piece of butcher paper. I actually stole this from one of my friends. And we just wrote a ton of things. And you know what? We did not get everything done on our list.
Yeah.
And Harper was really sad when she went back to school. I was like, Harper, we had such an amazing list. She's my blue. I was like, but look at all the fun things that we did get to do. And we did like catch fireflies. I know we're going to do a lot of other activities later on in the podcast, but like catch fireflies, outdoor movie night, like swim with the cousins. And like we did those things like 3 or 4 times, but it was good for them to kind of see what we had to look forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and even if you're going to do that, that's a great idea. And I loved that y'all did that throughout the summer. But even say at the very beginning, setting expectations, this is a huge list. We're not going to be able to accomplish all of them.
I didn't tell her that, but I should have.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's why setting expectations is so important. Because you're setting them up for yourself and for your children. Saying, hey, we're not going to be able to accomplish all of these, but let's see how many we can accomplish.
Yeah.
Like if there's 20 things, let's see how high we can get, how close we can get to 20.
Yeah. You told me a couple weeks ago, you're like, Emily, you're going to be very large this summer.
That's right.
Because I'm pregnant.
She's due in
August.
I don't want everybody to think I just tell you that you're going to be large.
No, I'm just going to be, and you said you should probably start looking for a babysitter to come once a week.
That's right.
And I kind of was like, that's a great idea. So I found one, so happy. But then I also told Brian, I was like, just so you know, these are my expectations for the summer. Yeah. I've already hired a babysitter. She's going to come once a week. She's not staying all day. She's going to stay for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because Brian was like, we can't afford her all day every week this summer. I was like, I know, it would be so great, but we can't. So I think you just have to kind of focus what you can do. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think that's even important because y'all are a one-income family pretty much. And so he's setting his expectations like, hey, I can't afford having a sitter all day, every day.
Yeah.
I can't afford these big expensive camps. Okay, what can we afford?
And I think it's helpful that we got on the same page.
That's
before
exactly
we brought
right.
In the kids.
And so really and truly, setting your expectations just helps everybody all the way around. I think most of the time, we just sort of go into summer. We're so excited that it's here, school's over, and then about week 2 of it, 3, we're just sort of left like, all right, what are we going to do now? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just nice to have a plan.
Yes.
I think.
Hey moms, take a minute with me and imagine this if you can. Ocean breezes, warm sunshine on your face, maybe the cry of a seagull in the distance, and a getaway designed just for you. Join us next year for Soar at Sea, The Confident Mom, a life-giving conference set on a cruise. Laugh with friends, learn from Karen, and be encouraged in your motherhood journey and reminded that God is with you and will equip you for the incredible calling of being a mom. It's your chance to step away, recharge, and set sail with confidence. Now, the spots are limited, so head to soaratsea.com to grab your spot today. That's SOARATSEA.com. Find that link and more details in the show notes today. Okay, let's get back to the show.
I think this second question is so important because I think sometimes our attitudes can be a little negative. So this is such a good question. And it is, how can shifting your mindset help you feel more positive about your summer plans no matter your situation?
Yeah.
I love this question.
Well, I think summer can be really hard for working moms because, they are really balancing a lot. Their job is not going to stop just because it's summer. And so they have to figure out, okay, I've got the children, I've got their schedules, I've got to pay for all this. I've got to I want them to have a good summer.
Absolutely.
You know what it is and just how am I going to do it? So it's going to look different from everybody else's summer. I mean, you don't get on social media and see all these amazing things that everybody's doing because yours might not be that way. But like I said earlier, you can make your life the best it can be. So that's what I would strive for. Like, I'm not going to have that over here, but I can make my lane great in the way that we're going here and make it a positive thing. So I think just your mindset is, and that always helps your children. If you have a positive mindset, it's easy for them to catch on to your positivity. Or if you're negative, they're going to catch on to your negativity.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know who I think does this really well?
Who?
Is Kelsey.
She does
my
do
older
this
sister.
really well.
Like, we went on a cruise this summer, and it just wasn't in the cards for them with Kevin's work and everything
for the
else.
spring.
Yeah. And but Kelsey knew she had to work a couple days. She knew that Kevin was home, so they planned a couple of outings, like together as a family. They did some things that didn't cost any money. They went to like a hiking thing with Kevin because that's not really Kelsey's vibe, but Kevin loves that. And I just think Kelsey really is so good at seeing what her budget is.
Yeah, and sticking to it
and still making it fun because you can. The good thing about summer is there are so many free or cheaper activities to do in the summer, but you do have to go look for them.
Well, you're the best at looking for the cheap things.
Well,
I just think we have to all embrace the reality that we live in.
Yeah, exactly.
And also going back to the working moms and helping your family see it as a positive. I used to always tell y'all, it is a good thing that your dad has the job that he does have. So that when he is home, we have him 24/7. He doesn't have to go to work. He's fully in. He's fully on board. And other families don't get that. So I always tried to help y'all see the positive rather than the negative.
It's so good.
Because you can look at it either way.
That's true.
And it just so happens I like going for the positive.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. But we also are, I'm green, yellow, and you're yellow, red.
Yeah,
so
that's right. We're positive people.
You can do it, Blues. I promise. You can do it. All right. You ready for the next one?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Question 3. How can working moms still enjoy the summer even with a busy schedule?
Well, I think it's a little bit more challenging, but I think you can do it 100%. So, like I said, it's not going to look like everybody else's, but that's okay. Here's a few ideas, okay? You can have spontaneous ice cream runs after dinner. those are always fun. Those were always a big hit with y'all.
We loved going to Dairy Queen.
I know, right? Catching fireflies at night with your kids. I think that's a great idea. I stole that one from you because y'all did that last year and your kids loved it.
Oh, they had so much fun.
And it's so easy. I mean,
Yeah, we killed a lot of fireflies, but
that's all right. They're there to, whatever. Late night swims at the neighborhood pool.
Oh, that's a good one.
We did that a few times. That's a fun activity. And it's just like when you're sitting around and it's after dinner and everybody's just sort of like, you just say, hey, let's all go to a late night swim at the pool. And they're like, oh man, let's do it.
You're the coolest mom ever.
That's right. Movie nights, I think, are so much fun. We would do, especially as y'all got older, we would do marathons, like the whole Star Trek series or the Bourne series or, what was the other one that y'all liked so
Lord
much?
of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. That's the one I was trying to think of. And we would just, have it, and then I'd let all y'all stay up late.
Yeah.
We get in our pajamas, all sit around the den, pop popcorn, have candy, and it was a lot of fun.
But also sometimes, this was before you got really good at cooking popcorn on the stove. We would go to the movie theater and just get popcorn and go to the gas station and get candy. And it was so fun. It was like just doing those things because also we were a family of 6. So going to the movies at night was very expensive.
We didn't do it that often.
No. So it was just so fun. And honestly, if you ask any of us some of our core memories, it's doing movie night at the house with Movies 400 popcorn.
That's true.
So that's always a good one.
Maybe you as a working mom, take a few Fridays off and take long weekends. And you can have that day off and just make it a long weekend and make the most out of those weekends. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of daylight savings. You've got a few more hours underneath your belt and the kids can sleep in the next day. So that's sort of a win-win.
That's nice for you if you have to go to the office early.
Absolutely. And then try going into the office early so that you can get home early. I think that sometimes helps. While the kids are sleeping in later, you can get on into the office, get a couple hours underneath your belt. I know my sister does that. She works for AT&T in Atlanta, and she does that just to beat the traffic because she's like, if I go early, then I can beat the traffic before, in the afternoon coming home. So
smart cookie.
Usually companies don't care as long as you're just getting your hours in. I mean, some companies might. You just got to run that by your boss.
That's great, Mom. I think that's a great practical answer.
It's a little bit more challenging, but it's worth it, I think, in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Question 4. How can you involve your kids around the house during the summer and why is that important?
Well, it's important for a lot of reasons. First off, your house is being used more. They're cooking more, cleaning more, all the things, or messing up more, I should say. So I think it's important to get everybody involved, and that way you as the mom don't feel like you're everybody's slave. When you're the cook, you're the cleaner, you're all the things, but everybody's involved. So I would give everybody certain chores in the summer, like, hey, it's your job to do the dishwasher, yours to take out the trash, yours to load up the dishwasher, make sure that's always running, do laundry and that sorts of things. I think it's not a good idea to have children just lay around the whole summer watching TV, playing video games because they get lazy, they get entitled, and what do? They get bored. Mm-hmm. So I always like to say, okay, here's y'all's list of chores, especially when I was working. Here's your list of chores, and then after you do all these chores, then you can go do whatever. Mm-hmm. We had our perimeters and things that y'all could and couldn't do.
I remember you would go, because you'd let us sleep in, like you said earlier, and everyone would have a sticky note.
Yep.
Or it'd be like a quadrant piece of paper, and you'd be like, Kelsey, these are your things. Emily, these are your things. So there's no arguing.
Right. Everybody has their list.
And they were appropriate chores, things for us to do for the age. And it was helpful because it kind of gave us a job, and it motivated us to get it done before you got home. Because also we couldn't go swim without you being home. And one of your things is like, if it's not done, you're not going swimming.
Right.
And we're like, oh, well, we really want to go swimming.
I know, right?
Smart mama.
So, I just think it's helpful and it makes everybody feel like they're a part of the family. It instills responsibility, not just, hey, take care of this for me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not your servant. So
sorry, no.
Get up and do it yourself. And then the other thing is, if your child says, for you, those of y'all that are stay-at-home moms, I'm sure you're going to hear this sentence a lot. Mom, I'm bored. I would just say, well, I'm not bored. Here, you can have some of my chores and give them extra work to do. I promise, if you do that with your child, they will stop telling you that they're bored.
That's very true. We stopped telling you that.
Yeah. Because I made y'all do things like wash the baseboards, things that I was probably never going to do.
Yeah.
I had y'all do.
Yeah. Here. And so it really nipped that in the bud.
It does. It's like, well, I'm not bored, so you can take some of my chores. And that hushed you up.
We zipped it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we zipped it all the time. I think we learned our lesson quite a few times. So
exactly.
Just so,
We're real.
All right. So as we wrap up, we love being practical here at Wire Talk. That's why the mamas love you so much, because you are practical. You give good advice. But so what are some practical ways to be intentional about your summer rather than just hoping it works out?
I would make a few concrete plans.
Yeah.
A few concrete plans that people can look forward to. Maybe something I would say, hey, 4th of July, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this right before school. Give them a few things that they can count on and they can look forward to. Second thing is set realistic expectations. Don't promise the moon right out of the gate, because that's unrealistic and you're going to lose a lot of credibility as a parent. And then the third thing is to embrace flexibility. Try not to be so rigid all the time, like those late night swim sessions. And that you have to be flexible to do that, because then as the mom, you're thinking they're coming in with wet bathing suits and wet towels and I got to get those cleaned and all that. But that's okay. Every now and then that can be a fun adventure. And then also get over this idea of a perfect summer. There is no such thing as a perfect summer. And that's okay. We're just going to have a great summer. We're going to live life to the fullest and hopefully all get to the end of the summer without killing each other, right?
That's right. We're going to have good attitudes. And
that's right.
Have a good time.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, mamas, that's all for us today. But you know what I love about the Birds on a Wire community is you always say this is you're not alone.
That's right.
And you know what? Also, what's great about this Wire Talk is it reaches so many people. Mm-hmm. And we have so many wonderful people here. So I want to know, what are some of your favorite things that you've done with your kids in the summer that you want to share with everybody else? You can like, comment, subscribe so other people can see. Something fun that I did with my kids this past summer was I had a science day. Now, this was right up my alley. I love this kind of stuff because I'm a teacher. So Kelsey's like, I love that you did this, but then Kelsey planned a great fun lunch and snack for us afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so and that's right up her alley.
You've got to embrace what you're good at. So just let us know in the comments, so what are some things that are fun that you've done with your family that we could put on our family bucket list.
Absolutely. And to help y'all with your chore list, I forgot about this. Katie, our producer of podcasts, she has a list of Katie's chores that she gives her children's, her chore chart. And that would be a great resource for y'all to look in and check out.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for listening with us today. And we're so thankful for you. Don't forget to share this episode and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a wonderful episode of Mom's Wonderful Advice. And we will see you guys next week.